Boston, 1924. Edward Pierce, veteran of the First World War, drowns his memories in liquor and sleeping pills. He is now a private detective who has trouble finding a case able to lift him from his torpor. Pierce must find a new case quickly or risk losing his license. Alright, hello everybody. Welcome to Call of Cthulu, our new Spooky Sunday game. How spooky it is, I don't know. Good god, that amount of motion blur is fucking spooky, but unfortunately I don't think I can turn it off. Oh well. Guess I just have to deal with it for now. Maybe it won't be so bad once we get out of this area. But yeah, I know this is like some kind of light up some items in order to interact with them. Alright, can I grab this then? Bolt cutter, a hurricane map, alright. But yeah, I know that this is like a detective game with like some supernatural elements. I don't know if there's any like combat in it or not, I'm not sure. Sure. So I'm assuming that's Cthulu, the big squid bro. But yeah, I don't know too much about this game. I know that there's collectibles. But I also know that when you're in an area that has secrets, it should have like... Oh, don't fight. Alright, well maybe that's supposed to be like, hey, there's not going to be combat. But there should be like a little marker in the bottom left-hand corner that'll show up, and then if we get all the collectibles, it'll give us a check mark.
But perhaps you will attempt to change your destiny.
I hate whiskey.
A private detective agency contracted to the Wentworth Detective Agency after the Great War decided to set up in Boston, where there is no lack of work for guys like me. One small-time case follows the other: adultery, settled scores, disappearances that are not actually disappearances. The old office couch is less comfortable than a real bed, and I should probably get rid of these empty bottles, but this place is mine for the moment. Okay. Mild lighter that engraved in memory of the 77th Infantry Division and the men of the Lost Battalion who fell. Okay. No knowledge, though. The case. Dr. Kin will repeat to me that I no longer need my remedy to keep my memories at bay, but I know that if I stop, the memories will return. One of these mornings I probably won't wake up. Despite the treatment, I again hear voices in my dreams, but they are different, unknown. They seem to surface from unfathomable and ancient depths. What nameless creature is calling me? What the hell is this? Character points, eh? Medicine represents your medical knowledge. Improving this skill increases your chances of determining the dosage of a drug, of making a diagnosis, or of expressing your understanding of a medical problem. The medicine and occult skills can only be improved by objects discovered in the environment. Okay, interesting. Strength represents your ability to call on your physical power. Improving the skill increases your chances of forcing doors or mechanisms or of using violence, physical or verbal, okay, during interactive discussions. Eloquence represents your ability to influence those you talk to by your power of speech. Improving this skill increases your chances of convincing or manipulating during discussions. Investigation represents your investigating talents. Improving this skill increases your chances of understanding past events by analyzing a crime scene or an object and of picking locks. Occultism represents your knowledge of the occult sciences. Improving this skill increases your chances of determining the use and origin of occult artifacts and of expressing your knowledge of the myth. Psychology represents your knowledge of human behavior. Improving this skill increases your chances of understanding the motivations of a person based on his or her behavior or on the analysis of objects. Spot hidden represents your ability to find hidden objects. Improving this skill increases your chances of finding hidden objects, and undiscovered objects will not appear in game. Okay, so I see like add, remove, validate, reset, but it doesn't look like that's something I can currently do. And we do have sanity, mental trauma, nightmares. Edward Pierce is a veteran of the First World War, where he took part in the Moose Argonne offensive. He is one of the few survivors of the Lost Battalion, American units that suffered heavy losses from enemy and allied artillery fire. Forced to hold their position for several days surrounded by the bodies of their fallen comrades without food or medical supplies, the soldiers were considered as lost by their fellow countrymen. Pierce is traumatized by these events. He consumes sleeping pills and liquor to ward off the nightmares that haunt him. But I am currently stable and confident in your abilities and your Cartesian mind. You conduct your investigation by sticking to the facts, your convictions, and your perception of reality. Your conclusions are logical and reliable. Alright, so that's useful. It doesn't look like I can actually do anything with these.
The Wentworth Agency doesn't attract top-notch cases.
The learning of medicine, can I pick that up? No.
I used to be an avid reader.
Well, man, if everything's
Married
going to
woman
glow like
runs
that.
off with her girlfriend. The husband couldn't understand it.
The husband never understood that his wife had left him. He kept on calling me weeks after the investigation had been closed. Can I do anything with this? No? Okay. Item obtained. Case closed.
A good old story of blackmail in a speakeasy.
The bar owner who hired me didn't like the way I closed this case, but when you're already outside the law, there's not a lot one can do against a private detective who's got proof against you. Oh, nice. I can close the drawers again. Let's not be an animal about this, then.
Natural sciences, linguistics, archaeology.
Thank you. Oh, and the game is saved.
Been a while since I jotted down something other than my nightmares.
Okay, well that's... Oh, maybe over in inventory. Knowledge. The case closed. Okay. Okay, well I don't know why I picked that up then. That looks like alcohol, and there is an achievement to not drink any alcohol throughout the game.
I wonder why I still take these things.
The doctors prescribed them when I returned from the war. They swore that they would put an end to the nightmares, but for a while now their effect has been wearing off. Okay.
Been too long since I've slept in a bed.
And then I'm assuming I can't leave,
I
though.
have business here to attend to.
Is that everything then? It looks like everything. I don't see the little marker in the corner that is supposed to be there. Have a drink or don't drink. Okay, so it does let me. Okay, so if I accidentally click on one, it should work.
I'm listening.
Are you Edward Pierce, private investigator contracted by the Wentworth Detective Agency?
That's correct.
Hello, Mr. Pierce. I'm Lucy Sherifield, in charge of investigators over at Wentworth. I'm calling because of a problem with your file. A fire has destroyed some of our documents.
Is that right?
I'm so very sorry, but I have to collect your personal information yet again.
allocate your character points. Each character point allows you to improve the score of a skill. I have 8 available points. Can I remove? I can't. Alright, so this is what I start at. Oh, and I can. I thought this said that, yeah, I couldn't do this. Alright. So, where should I put my first one? I mean, if medicine and occultism can only be increased by finding stuff in the environment, I would imagine that putting points into it now would give you a bonus. But at the same time, if I don't put points into it now, yeah, I don't know, because I mean, okay. I'm looking at some stuff here, but what I'm looking at doesn't really, because yeah, I don't know. It's very weird. Okay, apparently strength doesn't matter. This is because there is no combat in the game. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, apparently, um, there we go. Fuck is that? Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, apparently there's a different game called Call of Cthulhu, and it's really, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Um, so yeah, I guess just basically from what I read there, not strength. Apparently strength is fairly worthless. Um, I mean, based on what I'm seeing here, I should do these ones. Because, like, it says that I can only increase them later through. And then that one, I guess? Sure.
Thank you for this information, Mr. Pierce. Our files will soon be up to date. And on a related matter, may I raise a sensitive question?
What's wrong?
As you know, we wish to closely monitor the progress of our contractors. And if Would seem you've been accepting fewer new cases.
Work is scarce.
Mr. Pierce, you know as well as I do there's never been more investigative work than now.
But are those cases worth it?
They're worth not losing your license. Show yourself worthy of the Wentworth Detective Agency, and we might keep you on the payroll. Mr. Pierce, are you still...
I'm coming.
Sir, I came here on the advice of a person whom I hold in high esteem, and I must say that I expected anything but a drunkard's lair.
You're free to leave anytime, sir.
Do you know to whom you speak?
Stephen Webster, industrialist and art collector. All of Boston knows you.
Tell me, Mr. Pierce, are you capable of handling a new case, or are you simply a deadbeat inebriate?
If you come to me, it means you're desperate.
Nobody believes me. They take me for an old fool. Sarah, my little girl, she is dead. Even you must know of her. She was Sarah Hawkins.
The painter? Yes. Everyone knows her work.
The police accuse her of killing her family. They all died in a fire. Sarah, her husband, and Simon, my grandson.
I can't do anything for a woman who is already dead.
Find out the truth. They say she was mad, but I know that's a lie. She would never have done such a thing.
But if you have no proof...
I've brought all that I have. Look. I want you to look carefully at this painting. Tell me all the assumptions that come to mind.
What am I supposed to find?
Tell me if this is the work of madness. Or if, on the contrary, you manage to detect some logic, a rationality to follow so that I may understand it.
Is that all you want from me?
Yes, please.
All right. I'll look at your picture. That's all you've got? The painting?
I placed a file on your desk. It contains everything I have on the affair.
Okay. A strange picture painted by Sarah Hawkins a short while before a tragic death was sent to her father just after the artist died. He's convinced that she is the sender. He brought me the painting so that I could examine it. Stephen Webster, the wealthy industrialist, came to my office. He wants me to reopen the Sarah Hawkins case, named after his daughter, who died in a fire alongside her entire family. I must examine the documents he compiled in order to know more about the case. It says to navigate objectives, use the left stick, but that's not quite true, is it? Because I can't actually go up and down on those. I can just scroll up and down on them using the right stick, so I don't know what the fuck that's about. Oh.
Its strange beauty isn't enough to hide the feeling of dread it carries.
Apparently I failed a skill test. Intuitive and visionary artist for some, overpriced imposter for others, Sarah Hawkins leaves nobody indifferent. This mysterious and reserved painter offers strange images with violent colors and wild strokes to the world. If her paintings are testimony to her vision of the world, then the world of Sarah Hawkins is a portal open to another dimension. Extract from the notebook, Edward. Oh, extract, okay. From my notebook. This painting depicts a monstrous silhouette threatening a woman and child. Flames can be made out in the background. Stephen Webster, the father of Sarah Hawkins, thinks it is linked to the death of his daughter. Seems reasonable.
A warehouse on Darkwater. Some sketches of the Hawkins family. Rather thin.
A shipping label, some of it unreadable, but I can make out part of the address, Warehouse 36, Darkwater. Their police report says that the fire started in the dining room and claimed the whole family. The police decide on decided on a domestic accident, but they nevertheless insist on Sarah Hawkins' mental frailty. Why? A press cutting of an article written about the marriage of Sarah and Charles Hawkins, a businessman from the island of Darkwater. They live a recluse life there with their only son, Simon.
So, Mr. Pierce, what do you make of these elements?
The sender's label mentions Warehouse 36.
That's right. It came with Sarah's last painting.
And you think your daughter could have been the sender?
That is what you must find out. Go to Darkwater. Find Warehouse 36.
Her husband was a big deal on the island. But the police are sticking to the accident theory. Though they mention Sarah's mental state was fragile. I believe you are right, sir. This case is not as simple as it appears.
I am aware of that. I believe there is more to this case than just an accident.
You must tell me if what the police suggest about the mental state of your daughter is true.
No. Sarah had visions. Everyone knew that. She never would have hurt a fly. She only thought she saw things.
Saw things? What do you mean by that?
I never knew what she meant by that. My daughter was an enigmatic figure, Mr. Pierce. You must find out the truth about her life and death.
Darkwater. Never heard of the place. Where is that?
It's a small, remote island off the coast of Boston. Sarah lived there with her son and her husband.
I suppose you want to ship me off there.
Darkwater holds the secret regarding my daughter, Mr. Pierce. You must uncover it.
I mean, I already asked him about Warehouse 36, but it didn't, fade out like the other one.
The sender's label mentions Warehouse 36.
That's right.
And you think your daughter...
That is what you must go to Darkwater.
Okay.
I think I'm beginning to understand.
I'm willing to do anything for my daughter to recover her honor.
Quiet down. I'm on your side. Let's sum things up. An artist dies with her family in a house fire. Your only clue is a sort of promontory painting sent from Darkwater right before her death.
Correct. And the rumors about her supposed folly.
Which you don't totally deny.
Find that warehouse. Find out the truth regarding Sarah Hawkins' death. You'll be handsomely compensated.
All right. I'll take the case. I'll go to Darkwater and look into the death of your daughter.
Thank you, Mr. Pierce. I didn't expect any less coming from a man in your situation.
Something's queer. But it's not like I have a choice. Darkwater. I think I've got a book on the North Atlantic. I'll no doubt find some information on this island in there.
A dense work aimed at interns and young practitioners. This first volume lists all illnesses known in the civilized world. It details the symptoms and suitable treatment. Oh, my medicine must have went up to 22%. Alright, so Stephen Webster, he's 63, he's a businessman, a wealthy businessman, respected in the Boston area. Stephen Webster came to me in order that I investigate the death of his only daughter, Sarah Hawkins. The man accepts neither refusals nor inconvenient truths. He is ready to do anything to prove that his daughter was not mad. And then Charles Hawkins, 41, deceased. Was a local celebrity on Darkwater, the heir of a shipowner family. He used to travel a lot. He met Sarah Hawkins during a trip in Paris. They fell in love, got married, and Hawkins took her to the remote island of Darkwater. They had a child named Simon and lived a very secretive life. And Sarah herself, obviously, 33, painter, also deceased. Known for her tortured artistic universe, she was worshipped for the strangeness of her work and the rarity of her public appearances. I seem to remember that she once said, "I paint what my dreams whisper to me." Her marriage to Charles Hawkins years ago surprised high society columnists. A wealthy Boston heiress known for her party-going chooses to follow her new husband and live as a recluse on the island of Darkwater. She disappeared from the front pages of newspapers, and nobody heard any more about her. Even her death in a fire remained a secret. Only her father, Stephen Webster, continues to seek the truth. And then Simon, 11, only son of Sarah and Charles. He died in the fire, killed his whole family. Not a whole lot with him. File we got the book. All that remains is to leave for Darkwater. Starting to find something Darkwater in my bookcase.
I used to be an avid reader.
Not that bookcase, apparently.
The Lost Battalion. Holding your position and obeying orders. That isn't courage.
Yeah. Bookshelf. Guess I got more bookshelves over here.
Darkwater is off the coast of Boston. But I've never heard of it. According to this book, it was often mentioned during whale hunting times at the end of the 19th century. But it seems to have been shunned since then.
Darkwater Island has been inhabited since the 14th century and is still rich with the many memories left by its lost tribes. But don't let the romanticism of these moving evidences of such naive and primitive beliefs fool you into forgetting how violent their gods were. A gigantic creature still ornates the walls of long abandoned caves. Was it a sea or dream god? No one knows, but today's inhabitants, the sons and daughters of the proud whale hunters, still remember the mysterious and tumultuous story of their small land off the coast of Massachusetts.
All I have to do is go to the natural sciences, linguistics, archaeology.
Okay. I guess we're done then. I don't see any more things. I don't see the collectible symbol that's supposed to be there, so I'm guessing we're done. Pierce took the Hawkins case. The cursed artist is accused of having caused a fire that killed her and her family. As the only clue, she left her father a disturbing painting on the shipping label and address, a warehouse set on the docks of the island of Darkwater. The place seemed to be the starting point for Pierce's investigation. I was thinking of just ending the part there and having this come out on Friday, but we'll continue. Because I don't know, because I was going to say I could just do a chapter apart, but I don't know how many chapters there are or how long any of them are, so.
We're almost there. Stay on board. There's guys coming to unload. Welcome to Darkwater Island, Mr. Pierce.
Why, thank you, Captain Fitzroy.
So, what wind brought you?
Does the Hawkins case mean anything to you?
A sad story that we would all prefer to forget. Charles Hawkins may have been a landlubber, but he was a good man.
And his wife, Sarah Hawkins.
Nice young woman, and a great painter. What a tragedy. You know what? Go have a drink at the Stranded Whale. What you need is a good pick-me-up. Mitchell may not be very welcoming, but his bar holds a surprise for you. As for me, you'll find me at the Harbor Master's office. If it's the Hawkins family that brings you here, I have a pile of documents that should interest you.
Understood. I'm going for a look around the docks.
Alright. On the approaches to Darkwater, I saw thick clouds masking the sky. They were so low, they seemed intent on impaling themselves on the sharp reefs that circled the island. Fitzroy, the captain of the only tub that manages to float to the mainland, offered to help me. He may have documents that belongs to Charles Hawkins. Fitzroy advised me to visit the port's bar. He mentioned a little pick-me-up. I suppose I could get the lay of the land at the same time. Fishermen have gathered around the carcass of a killer whale. Could have a look and see what the local cops have got to tell me. And Captain Fitzroy offered to share with me what he has found on the Hawkins in the archives of the Harbor Master's office. Did I get... Oh, I did actually get a skill point. Alright. 6 for that, 6 for that, 6, 4 for that. I guess I'll bump up my investigation. Validate. It would seem that the world has forgotten the very existence of this isolated rock off the coast of Boston. It is a small, inhospitable island whose coastline is made up of steep cliffs and sharp reefs, and with only one outlet to the sea. It is mainly inhabited by the descendants of whalers who set up a supply post there in the 1800s. It was hit severely by the collapse of this activity. I think that the only venture on the island that is still profitable is its medical institute. Okay. At the entrance to the port Darkwater, one still passes in front of the shell of the Scylla, the last whaling ship to have brought back a catch. Sailors wander the docks looking for some small job for the day. A gang of bootleggers has set itself up there and is gnawing away at the territory of Captain Fitzroy, the last sailor to own a boat capable of making the round trip between the island and mainland. Here, the golden age of whale hunting is but a distant memory. And then that's the book we found. Alright, well, let's go check out this whale.
Let the police do their work. Hey, Sullivan. Can't you go any faster? The same goes for you, sir. Move along.
I'm looking for this address. Warehouse 36, Darkwater Harbor.
Ah. And so who are you?
I didn't introduce myself. Edward Pierce, private detective.
In any case, it's not very important. I can't answer that.
You can't? Or you don't want to?
Oh, no. I'm not getting into those games, me. Now, please, allow me to do my job.
You can't understand. Don't put that beast back in the water, you shysters. You're crazy.
The blood is just beginning to coagulate. It died a short time ago. Only a specialist would know what killed it.
You can't understand. You're not sailors. It's a sign. There's something coming. Something...
You can see that I'm busy, can't you?
You can't understand. Don't put that beast back in the water, you shysters. You're crazy. They're cops. They can't understand. Damn stupid idiots. Forget it. Nobody listens to us anyway. That's no way to treat an omen. Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so we don't have the medicine skill then to, I guess, investigate the, or to figure out what happened to the whale.
Wanted to stir us up.
So you can stay to watch if you want.
There's nothing for you
Pick
here
up the
either.
pieces.
Beat it.
Come on, you bastard. You'll see what a true sailor's got in his belly.
Okay, not going that way then. So Fitzroy is in there. Let's head over to
Prohibition is just a joke around here. That suits me fine.
Alright, well, let's... You guys got anything to say? No?
Hey, be careful. Let's get him another drink. He's dry.
In my bar, we don't serve troublemakers.
I didn't show. Okay, so I'm assuming this one is eloquence. This one, hold to test strength, hold to test eloquence.
You saw what happened. He's the troublemaker.
Oh, you're
That's
a
not
true
gonna work.
mainlander. A real princess. You strut around with your la-di-da ways, and then, as soon as the pressure arises, you start squealing. You don't have what it takes to drink my whiskey. You've got to earn it.
I'm here for information, not for a fight.
I prefer it that way. Speak then. I reserve the right to answer or not.
The Stranded Whale. I guess this bar has been here a long time.
What can I tell you? I'm a nostalgic sort of guy. The name, it reminds us of the golden age of dock water, when our whalers left for long months and came back sweating and stinking of the oil and flesh of the whales they'd been hunting.
It was a tough time, all the same.
Ah, but steeped in glory. We've never known such wealth since then.
What can you tell me about her?
We all knew she was famous on the mainland for her paintings. Never understood why. Then, I don't want to speak ill of the dead.
Her style made her famous. How would you describe it? Tortured?
Yeah, well, it wasn't normal. I mean, for a young woman with a child and all that. We saw them in the papers and we said to ourselves, who can paint such things? Is that how she sees the world?
So they made you feel uncomfortable.
You need to see them for yourself. Make up your own mind.
Her vision. Was it so terrible?
Way I see it, the truth is really a question of point of view.
What do you mean by that?
Do you still trust the truth after a bottle of whiskey?
I've got what I need.
Anything else?
I didn't expect to find alcohol on this island. What's the source of this miracle?
You mean who? Our source of supply wouldn't like me to betray them to the first comer.
I'll tell nobody.
She'd know it anyway. Anything else?
Yeah, she, eh?
Do you know where this place is? Warehouse 36, Darkwater Harbor.
The Hawkins warehouse. I see, yeah. If I were you, I wouldn't hang around there.
Why not?
First off, there are rumors. Sailors from around here say you can hear noises coming from the warehouse at night. Screams, that sort of thing.
Screams?
And that's not all. There's the fate of its owners and all the superstitions that go with it. But I'll say no more. Anything else?
No, I think we're good then.
That'll be all for now.
Alright. Let's see what we can find in the bar. How much is a whiskey?
Charles Hawkins was a heavy drinker. And a debtor. Interesting.
Yeah. So, He owed $68 then, I guess. Man, that's some shitty writing they have there.
The miraculous catch. Apparently, the most significant event of the last 80 years.
The Scylla returns to port to save Darkwater from famine. We have given up hope. Or we had given up hope. The crew of the Scylla, or what remains of it, returned to Darkwater port late on Tuesday afternoon. The locals immediately rushed to the docks to welcome the last whaling ship on the island, who were amazed at the sight of the unbelievable catch the brave vessel had on board. Of a size that went beyond that of the formidable toothed whales, the cetacean that is already being called the miraculous catch covered the whole deck, and parts of it were hanging over the side of the ship. That's a big fucking whale. The surviving sailors told a frightening account of their perilous catch, but also of its meat, unmatched in its quality and plentiful, nutritious benefits. There is no doubt that the immense size of this whale will allow numerous inhabitants of Darkwater to feed themselves, bringing an end to the famine from which part of the island was suffering. There's also a warehouse for rent. Mr. Marks is putting his warehouse up for rent from June for fishing, workshop, or storage activities. You can contact him via your favorite newspaper or visit him on the docks. To celebrate the return of our brave whalers, all the staff of the Stranded Whale invite you to an exceptional and free tasting event. Come with your family or with friends to taste the miraculous catch. Each person will leave with a bottle of oil, so don't hesitate.
And the doctor, what did he think? He laughed. My God.
This guy.
Nightmares. Can hear things and voices whispering. Will follow its reader and appear at various locations, gifted with its own consciousness, until it finds a new reader.
Okay, we got those guys. We have this chick. Door, but don't want to leave yet.
What you looking at, stranger?
The clientele is predominantly male.
Tell me something I don't know.
I meant nothing by it. I'm just wondering what a woman like you is doing in this flea trap.
And I'm wondering what could be going through the head of the chump who goes to disturb her. Let me drink, stranger. I told you to beat it.
Okay.
Do you like our song?
We're true sirens.
We may not be pros, but we give it all we've got.
That's true. It's a reminder of the time when we were still fishing for whales off Darkwater Island.
What brought whaling to an end?
The whales, of course.
They all disappeared.
You exhausted the stocks.
You could say that, yes. There were fewer and fewer of them.
Until the last, the biggest.
The one of the miraculous catch.
Exactly.
I've never heard this song before.
Only people from here know it. It tells the story of the miraculous catch.
I saw the newspaper clipping. You don't believe it, do you?
Watch what you say, young man.
That catch saved our island.
Ah. Where's the proof?
We're the proof.
Without it, the whole of Darkwater would have died of hunger in 1847.
It's true. Everything happened just as it says in the newspaper report. Our grandparents tasted its flesh.
And it was delicious.
I bid you farewell, gentlemen.
Good night, stranger.
So long.
The way he said stranger was very close to RE4. Hey, I wanna... Okay, so... Can I talk to the barman again? I can't get back there. Unless I can go through that other door, but that doesn't seem like they would appreciate that. Oh, I unlocked answers.
I read the article on the miraculous catch. Interesting local folklore.
Don't get it into your head to repeat that round here. It's more than folklore. On that day, the crew of the Scylla caught an exceptional catch. The biggest whale ever caught. And they saved Darkwater from famine.
Charles Hawkins owed you a lot of money. Do you know if he had problems?
I don't know the details, and it's not my business. Money or not, he was always welcome in my bar. The Hawkins family was always much appreciated on the island.
Okay.
That'll be all for now.
Guess we're done then. Now let's go check out this door here, see if we can get in there. Yeah, didn't think so. Alright. I guess it's time to go see the captain. Because we haven't got any more medicine or that. They won't let us through that way. Hey, look, it's a lantern though. Can I take this? No? Okay. Still haven't seen a marker. Yeah, because like the one thing there that I read said that when you had stuff you could find like the bottom left.
Broken. This place seems half abandoned.
Half.
I wonder what Captain Fitzroy has got to say about this woman, Cat.
The terms of our agreement are clear. Keep your men under control. You cannot afford to provoke us. No need to answer this message. Just make sure your payment. Just make your payment to the carrier, Cat. So that must be the chick's name. In the bar.
Fishing equipment. Could do with some rust remover.
There. So where does this door lead? Bathroom. Okay.
A souvenir from a more prosperous era. I guess this blackboard hasn't been wiped for more than 70 years. The Scylla. It finished up beached at the entrance to the harbor.
Yeah, well, I feel like a lot of harbors do that. Second volume teaches ethics and good practice to medical staff. Hey, medicine went up. Hasn't. Still needs 6 more points, but. Oh, sorry. It's at 24%. Is each percentage. Because 40% seems to be level 3. But man, medicine apparently goes up really slowly, or at least from these books. Maybe we'll find other stuff that raises it by more, but. All of these weird little candles. And like a little like smoky thing.
This man and Fitzroy could be twins.
This photograph of a man who looks like Captain Fitzroy is posing on the bridge of a ship. He has a wooden leg. I'm assuming, well, Fitzroy. It says a picture of Captain Fitzroy, so assuming that comment was because he's older now.
What a macabre souvenir.
What is? Oh, the wooden leg. Okay, so maybe that picture was like of his father, maybe a brother or something. All right, Captain. I don't see anything else to investigate in here, so.
I've brought out the Charles Hawkins cargo manifests. They're on the table next to you. But in truth, you're likely to be disappointed. When you're done, come join me on the deck.
These manifests are signed by Charles Hawkins. That's all I'll get from them.
Only a few dates are still legible. 1890, 1907, and a partial date. The rest of the document is blacked out. Who would want this information to be hidden? Alright. Oh, there you are.
From here, I see everything that goes on in the harbor. The hard-working lives of my sailors, the fights at the stranded whale. Even the antics of these wharf rats don't escape me.
It's you who lays down the law around here.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. I'm just the last serving captain on Darkwater. Tell me what I can do to help you.
Your manifests have been blacked out. They're totally unreadable.
Yeah, I saw that. I've got no idea who did it or why. I don't remember having countersigned anything special enough for someone to hide it.
And why obliterate the dates, as well as the goods stored in the warehouse?
You mean that the dates have some meaning?
I'm surprised Charles Hawkins had goods to store, knowing that whaling stopped in 1847.
I see that you're interested in the history of our island. Indeed, maritime activities ceased altogether at the end of the last century. I imagine that the Hawkins family had other types of contracts.
But you don't know with whom?
No, it was none of my business.
The miraculous catch. Is it a local legend?
Not at all. It's an episode from our glorious past. Go read the story of the sailor's return to Darkwater Harbor. It's displayed on a wall of the stranded whale.
I already did. That's how I got the question.
I'm just back from the wharves. The dead killer whale is unsettling the sailors.
Ah, yes. Us men of the sea are superstitious folk.
Killer whales don't have many known predators.
That's true. And normally, they're not found around here. But, you're gonna take me for a fool.
Give it a try.
Have you heard about the depths? Trenches that plunge into the earth, and that shelter creatures unlike any other.
You're talking about mythology.
Indeed, you're right.
The police took the decision to put the killer whale back into the sea.
You've got to understand them. They didn't know what to do with it.
I think that was a mistake. Who says that whatever caused those wounds is no longer in these waters?
You think we should have kept it?
To look into the real cause of its death, at least. I was looking at your photograph. The one of the man in front of the boat.
Ah, yes, I can see the one you're talking about.
Interesting resemblance. I thought it was you, but with a wooden leg.
And for good reason. That's my father in the photograph.
Your father?
John Fitzroy, captain of the Scylla. His wooden leg is here. You can go and see it if you're interested.
I found a threatening letter, signed by a certain cat.
What? I don't mind you visiting my harbor master's office, but I'd prefer if you didn't go through my affairs.
Are you being blackmailed?
Not exactly, no. That shyster wants to make us pay protection money.
With any success?
I wouldn't say that, but she terrifies my men as much as her own.
Can you not do anything to stop her?
Don't you worry about that.
I'm looking for Warehouse 36. Do you know where it is?
Look, it's right there. The warehouse is opposite the jetty. You can't miss it.
Understood.
You know who the building belongs to, don't you?
It belonged to the Hawkins family.
Precisely. Ship owners from father to son.
I think that somebody here wanted me to search this warehouse. Can you tell me where...
Look, I've already shown it to you. It's the one with the cop on guard duty out front. You can't miss it.
Understood.
Okay.
I shall be on my way.
So come back and see me when you've got something new.
Will do. Alright, game save there. So let's go through our skills. Let's bump up my investigation again. Thank God. Okay, that's clear. What do we got here? Roy Mitchell, 55, owner of the Stranded Whale Bar, only bar in Darkwater. Prohibition has no hold on the Stranded Whale, and sailors come to seek some comfort in Mitchell's whiskey. The man therefore knows, more than anyone, the secrets and rumors that the inhabitants of the island exchange after a few glasses. Mitchell is devoted to the golden age of whale hunting, if the numerous trophies that decorate his establishment are anything to go by. The man will talk freely on this subject, on which he is so keen, but he will be far less enthusiastic if one was to inquire about his source of liquor. And then James Fitzroy, 35-year-old captain of the Charybdis. Really? His father piloted the Scylla, so he made the Charybdis. That makes sense. The only boat that still sails between Darkwater and Boston. His base is the harbor master's office, from where he misses nothing that happens on the island. The inhabitants of Darkwater respect him, the bootleggers despise him. He offered to help me in my investigation. And the Stranded Whale is a bar where liquor is served with total impunity. It's the last thing I expected to find when I arrived on this island. The Stranded Whale is its name, and it's managed with an iron hand by the owner, a certain Mitchell. He does not tolerate troublemakers, and he fiercely protects the identity of his supplier. All the inhabitants of the area seem to go there, and I even saw what looks to be a truce between the bootleggers and the sailors. And these are all things that I already found, so I don't need to worry about them. Alright. In the case. I learned nothing from Fitzroy's documents, but I did get confirmation on what I've been suspecting since Boston. The warehouse mentioned on the shipping label of Sarah Hawkins' painting belongs to Hawkins. It's on the docks. I must find a way to get into it. Alright. So we'll worry about that next time. That'll be it for now. Well, I guess our next objective is to get into Warehouse 36. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of exploration we can do. And we haven't got to very much supernatural. I mean, we had a nightmare, but I wouldn't really call that supernatural. But either way, that'll be it for this part. Thanks everybody for watching, and I will see you next week for more.